This is the Unspoken Podcast on the Undetermined Podcast Network.
You're listening to the Unspoken Podcast, part of the Undetermined Podcast Network. It is episode number 18. I'm Tom Albano. Along with me, as always, is Nick Federa. Nick, we got quite some stuff to talk about this week.
Yes, we do, and for the first time in a couple of weeks, we are not starting with the NFL. We've got some hot baseball action, folks, and it's actually something interesting. People yelling at each other, pitches getting thrown, it's pandemonium.
Yeah, and it's not coming from the Yankees. It's not a Yankees-Red Sox thing. It's not a Mets-Phillies thing. Yeah. It's a Boston Red Sox Baltimore Orioles thing. We are going to start off with all the hot drama. We actually, before we got on the air, we were trying to find a timeline to figure out all the events that have happened thus far.
Because usually these things, usually baseball feuds, in reality, they only happen in a couple days, but they feel like they go on forever.
But this one has gone. Yeah. This one actually has gone on for a little while now. Yeah, it did. Okay, so
let's give you a timeline of what's been going on in the Boston-Baltimore rivalry, let's call it, up from the point where it started to where we are today. Yeah, so let's start with on April 21st, right? So we have Boston playing the Orioles. Well, they have the Red Sox playing the Orioles on April 21st at Camden Yards. So it was a couple weeks ago.
Right. This was not the series. This was not this past series that had all the drama and shit. This was a couple of weeks ago.
Well, where it started was a couple weeks ago.
Right.
So Manny Machado took a hard slide into Dustin Pedroia, and the Red Sox took exception to that. And they spent the rest of the series trying to take his head off with a fastball.
I actually bring up all the footage we have right now if you want to react to it. So I have the footage right now of Boston-Baltimore back on April 21st. Manny Machado sliding into second base, injuring Dustin Pedroia. Oh. I don't know. I got to look at that again. Actually, can I message? What happened?
He spiked him.
Yeah, he did spike him. You mean like an intentional spike, though?
It's hard to tell because
I was gonna say, if you want my honest opinion, I don't think so. Because he goes over to him.
Yeah, I don't think he. Yeah, I'm not sure if he did it intentionally, but it doesn't look like it. Look at the video.
It doesn't look like it. No, Machado is holding on to Pedroia. Looks like he's talking to him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything there. I really don't see anything there. Okay, but then there was some more stuff that happened at Camden Yards. You said they tried to take his head off throughout the whole...
Yes, and throughout the rest of the series at Camden Yards, they tried to take Machado's head off, and they hit him a couple times. And he took exception to that, but it didn't come... The tension between the two of them didn't come to a boiling point until a week or so later when the series transitioned to Fenway.
Right. So, but when the series transitioned to Fenway, we didn't get exactly Machado drama to start off with. We got, unfortunately, a different kind of drama, one involving Adam Jones.
Yes, the Orioles center fielder Adam Jones said after, which game was it? Tuesday night's game?
After Monday night.
Oh, it was Monday night's game. That he, right. After the game, he was, taunted by the Fenway crowd, and they yelled racial slurs at him. He said more than one person did this, and he actually, a bag of peanuts was thrown at him. I don't know if it hit him. Did it hit him?
Don't know. No, it didn't hit him. It was hurled in his direction, but they didn't hit him.
So it didn't hit him, but they were giving him both barrels of racist trash. They were calling him the N-word, this and that, and it was just a bad look for everybody. So the next day, you had the mayor of Boston speaking out. You had the Red Sox brass speaking out. You had Red Sox players speaking out. You even had players from around the league. I mean, CC Sabathia kind of chimed in, saying that with the 62 player African American players in the league, they all know that this is something that happens at Fenway. And then you had people coming out of the woodwork saying, "Hey, I didn't hear it. Maybe it didn't happen. Maybe he's making it up," which is such a piece of shit thing to say. It's not even funny.
Wait, who said which players were saying, "Oh, he's making it up"? I didn't hear anything about that.
Not players. I mean pundits.
Oh.
I'm talking about, well, you know what I'm talking about. Fucking Schilling. Kurt Schilling.
Oh, him. That son of a bitch.
See, Kurt Schilling, let me see if I can give you a good mental image to properly personify what this man has become in his post-playing career.
You don't even need an image. He's just an idiot.
No. It's as if a fart took human form, started reading Breitbart, and then just took a bunch of meth, and then just worked to learn how to use a computer. It is that bad. He has gone off the fucking deep end.
Ever since retiring, yeah, he's been cuckoo. I mean,
but the whole controversy didn't end there, because there was still Machado hit a couple of home runs during that series, and he pimped them a little bit. He took his time going around the bases, and more thrown pitches, and then which culminates in an epic rant by Machado after the game, saying,
"Now this is the
it's fucking bullshit."
Now this is the Chris Sale pitch you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't get a chance to see this, so this is actually going to be a genuine reaction from me. So let's see what happens.
Well, they bleep it out. You can't hear the good stuff.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the pitch itself.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, we were talking about, did Sale get ejected? No, the umpire at this point had warned both benches.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, I don't know. That one looks pretty close. Like, I don't know if I can call that an accident or not.
Oh, I don't think it was an accident. Because Sale is just that kind of nut job.
I feel like Snail.
Chris Sale.
I feel like Sale is only snapping. Like, I know last year he had the jerseys thing where he cut up all the White Sox shit. I think part of me, it's also, I feel for the guy. He is like a Cy Young caliber pitcher. Nobody is winning any games for him. The White Sox couldn't do the job, and now you would go to the Red Sox and you would think maybe they're, with better days. And it's some improvement, but not much. Not much when you think about what the Red Sox could be.
Yeah, and, well, that doesn't really excuse him acting like a total prick on the mound and off the field, but I kind of see what you're saying. But
I'm saying at this point he's probably snapped.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I would probably be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs if that happened.
And then Manny Machado. You were right when I said I didn't see the footage, but I did read what he said, and at first I thought Manny had maybe gone off his rocker, only because I don't like it when players do that. I mean, it shows Manny Machado has a lot of heart, but Derek Jeter never acted like that.
Well, then again, Derek Jeter, as much as I love the guy, the man was a bland quote. You could not, you couldn't tell whether there was actually a person under there.
I think that's just because
it's just the way the Yankees were. It's just the way those guys. It's the way the Yankees kind of project themselves, now where it's, buttoned down, really, professional, consummate baseball professionals.
Right.
Which doesn't necessarily make for fun baseball, but it makes for, at least this year it's making for good baseball. But that's neither here nor there.
That's another topic for later.
Yeah, but that's neither here nor there.
Right.
The thing is, it's with everything that we've seen in this series, would you say that this rivalry in recent years between the because it didn't end there, because Gossman the next night actually, I think Orioles.
Now I didn't see this pitch either. This is one I want to see because there is a lot of controversy about this one. All right, so I'm looking at it. That doesn't look that bad. It's not like Sales. That was not like Sales at all.
Well, why would...
Oh, wow, whoa. I'm sorry, no, I'm just reacting. Caleb Joseph fucking just flipped.
Yeah, he did.
He is going off. Oh, my God.
Well, what happened was Kevin Gossman, I think, plunked the first batter of the game, I think.
Something like that.
And the umpire was having none of that shit and tossed him. Tossed Gossman out of the game, and then Caleb Joseph lost his mind, and
soon he followed.
So, with everything that I don't think he was trying to hit somebody. It's the first batter of the game. Why would you want to start plunking people?
It looked like he was pitching inside,
and it's
yeah. And it was off target. It wasn't as direct as Sales was.
No, I don't think so. But with everything that we've seen, as I was saying before, with everything that we've seen from this series, would you say that this Boston-Baltimore rivalry is that it's now become a rivalry?
Oh, it is. I'm sure it is. Also, we're talking about, with the NHL playoffs going on and division races and stuff, the best way I can make a comparison is how the Montreal Canadiens acted to the New York Rangers in the first round of this year's Stanley Cup, because the Canadiens didn't forget about 2014 when Price was taken out. I feel like there is a little bit of, as much as Red Sox Orioles isn't like Red Sox Yankees, there's still more recent history behind it, because when you go back to 2011 and the Red Sox ultimate collapse, the Orioles were part of the cause as to the Red Sox elimination because of that final game. I still feel like...
Yeah, I would even go as far as to say that their rivalry has overtaken, at least in recent years, it's overtaken Yankees-Red Sox, because over the past couple of years, there hasn't really been bad blood between, Yankees-Red Sox, because, in the glory days you had, like, A-Rod and Jason Varitek, you had Pedro and Jorge Posada and Don Zimmer. and that was... It was scary as fuck, but it was good TV.
Right, but also I feel like those days are now gone thanks to Jeter's retirement and Big Papi's retirement.
Yeah, so I think that the Baltimore's kind of replaced that. Yeah, because they have personalities on both teams. They have people that you like and people that you like to hate. And those are always good ingredients for a good baseball rivalry.
Yeah, and I can already tell. Well, it seems like Boston and Baltimore are going to go on small breaks away from each other now. But then on June 1st, they're going to start up another series. And I don't know, something's going to happen. I have this gut feeling in me something's going to happen. This is not the end. This is going to go on for a while.
Yes, indeed. And it's going to be good. And it's going to be good TV.
Absolutely. You're listening to the Unspoken Podcast, part of the Undetermined Podcast Network. Nick, you ready to move on to the NFL Draft?
That's right. Draft weekend has come and gone, motherfuckers. And, what can we say about what has transpired over those 3 days? Well, 4 days, actually. 4 days.
Yeah, well, If you want me to be extremely honest,
Yes.
I mean, I'm looking to pull up winners, a piece of like winners and losers, what everyone's talking about. But coming from my perspective, I cannot believe I'm going to say these words. I said them last week, and I will have to be forced to say them again. I think the Cleveland Browns are real winners in this draft.
Again, this is shit you would never catch yourself saying in a million years. It's like certain sentences kind of taste wrong once they leave your mouth.
And this one just tastes... I don't know how this tastes. This tastes funny. And not taste like chicken.
Yeah,
funny. This tastes
right. I know what this tastes like, but it should not be coming from this.
Yeah, exactly. It should not be coming from this kind of thing. I still cannot believe the first round that the Cleveland Browns had.
So, let's go through some at least of the first round, the important picks of the first round. So we have Myles Garrett, defensive end out of LSU, going to the Cleveland Browns first overall, which was an expected pick.
Right. Everybody and their grandmother probably expected that.
Yeah. And then the fun began. Because we were actually, as part of a class assignment, we were actually tweeting about the draft while watching it. So I was on tweeting about the draft, so were you, and there were a couple other people in our class who were doing it. So,
right, and the one everybody, not just our class, everybody seemed to be so confused by was the Chicago Bears deal where they gave the 49ers a couple of picks, one pick next year for the second pick, and then they picked up Mitchell Trubisky, North Carolina quarterback.
It is going to be so fun to watch drunk Chicago Bears fans try to say Trubisky when you're 3 beers deep.
And you know what's funny? He's probably going to be either the starting quarterback or the backup because not just because Cutler's gone. Cutler's going to be retired, it seems.
Yeah, but who did they even get to? I forgot who they got to replace him.
Let me pull up the Chicago Bears roster right now. I mean, just. Oh, was it, what's his name? Well, they have Mitchell Trubisky and Connor Shaw. Oh, that's right, no! They have Mike Lennon and, Sanchez.
Mike Lennon.
They do have Mike Lennon, but they got Mark Sanchez, I forgot.
Oh, fuck! Oh, I forgot. Oh, my God, that is just so perfect. It is.
So what do you expect the Bears' record is going to be this season? 3-13?
Well, you can't beat 3 and 105, but it'll certainly feel like that. But, see,
do you think the Cleveland Browns
with the reaction,
have a chance of...
with the reaction that's been pouring in around the league? I think I can speak for pretty much all of even the Chicago area fans. Everybody pretty much except the GM and John Fox. What the fuck were you guys thinking? Why? Is Mitchell Trubisky really the hill you want to die on? No, but what the fuck are they thinking? The Bears thinking bringing this guy? Is Mitchell Trubisky really the hill you want to die on? That just it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, last year he had a 68% passing completion percentage. He threw for 3,748 yards and had 30 touchdowns with 6 interceptions. It was his first year as it must have maybe been it couldn't have been his first year as a quarterback because he has 2 other years at North Carolina. He was a junior. He played 9 games in 14-15. Maybe it was a different style of offense because 42 for 78 in 2014, 40 for 47 in 15. But in 16, he goes 3 under 4 for 447. Maybe he was a backup his first 2 years.
Still, it's not worth wasting.
I know, no. This to me is not first round worthy. It's not second pick worthy, at least.
It's not even. I'm not even sure if it. You know what? It can just be It can be summed up in one word. Why? Why?
I thought you were going to say what. That's the other one.
Why? Because that's not a question. That is a proclamation shouted into an uncaring void. Why?
Maybe there's 2 words. What? And then why?
Could be. But still, I mean, this was a draft. I mean, there were more trades in this draft than I can remember there being in a while, actually.
Yeah, there were a lot of trades. So, who do you think was the biggest winner and the biggest loser? Would you say Browns and Bears too?
Probably, although I think the Jets kind of lucked into getting Jamal Adams, because I think had the Bears not colossally fucked up, I think the pieces would have moved, and that Jamal Adams probably would have ended up going before them.
Oh, I think that's without a shadow of a doubt that he would have been gone. I don't understand how he fell to the Jets other than the Bears fucking to pick up. I put almost all. I mean, the Jets, they could have still choked, so I can't say I put all the blame on the Bears, but I can put a significant percentage as to the cause on the Bears for making probably what I think will go down as one of the worst draft moves in history, unless Trubisky can prove me wrong.
I don't know. Ryan Leaf is a big hurdle to get over.
Yeah, but still, I mean, come on, this is freaking I really just nobody saw it coming. That's the thing. Nobody saw what the Bears were going to do coming. But getting back to winners and losers in general, winner Cleveland Browns.
I would say the Jets came out winners, which is not something that I would have ever thought that's another thing I never thought I'd say.
Yeah, I that was also a shock for them getting Adams, but good for them.
Yeah, because the guys came.
CBS Sports has the Carolina Panthers as winners. I really don't see that. I don't remember anything too significant about the Panthers getting a pick. I mean, the Panthers getting anything positive. I thought it was more neutral than anything. What do you think about the Jacksonville Jaguars? CBS Sports has them as losers. They said Leonard Fournette in top 5 is fine, but they. Hang on, let me figure out. Let me just read it off sports. What you have here is a franchise that's supposed to take a leap this year, but none of the player acquisitions matter if Blake Bortles isn't good. They have a bunch of players who can help them. Leonard Fournette in the top 5 is fine because Fournette is awesome, but expecting Zeke Elliott 2.0 is crazy behind that offensive line. I mean, what is your opinion about the Jaguars? I mean, I still think Fournette could be, a good help for the team.
It seems like they want to build him up as Adrian Peterson 2.0. Not necessarily Zeke Elliott 2.0, but they want him to be the focal point of this offense, because it seems to me like, well, they're kind of doing this backwards, because they got a guy, right? They got their star, their go-to gamer, hell of a running back, and he is. But in a way, I kind of got to agree with what was written, because who do you got to protect them on the O-line? I mean, he can't run if there's no space on the field on which he can run, I should say. But you need to invest in solid infrastructure before you get the gold, before you actually put the gold-plated Chevy out on the highway and gun the engine. Does that make any sense, or am I just babbling?
No, I can see what your point is. I think the Fournette's going to be a big help for Jacksonville. But, I mean, Bortles has got to step up. The old line's got to step up. Everybody's got to step up. And, to help Fournette out. He's still going to be a rookie. Here's an interesting one from CBS again. They have Houston Texans as losers. Now, I don't know about this. I mean,
they took who did they take?
Well, they took Deshaun Watson and
out of Clemson.
But they're saying because Houston ate the first and second round picks of 2018, both of which are going to go to, guess who? The Cleveland Browns.
There's going to be a day where they're going to be unstoppable, and we're all going to be just watching the TV mouths agape.
It's going to be like the Golden State Warriors in the NBA.
It's like, how the fuck did they get this good so fast? It's like, when the fuck did this happen? My back was turned, and all of a sudden you turned into fucking gladiators.
The reason I was saying is because they took the full cost of Brock Osweiler's contract. So, but of course, Osweiler is Gone from the starting quarterback role of the Texans. So it would be up to Tom Savage. But I feel like Houston's probably going to go with Watson as a quarterback, only because I feel like they need to set ground. They need to say, okay, here's our franchise. What was that?
No, never mind. Go ahead. Yeah, you're right. They need to build a foundation for which him to work.
I mean, on the defense, it always has been J.J. Watt. But they needed somebody on the offense because the quarterback kept changing, kind of like the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, they are the Cleveland Browns of the South.
Pretty much. This CBS Sports also lists the Philadelphia Eagles as winners. I'm sure Sakina will be very happy about that.
Yes, Sakina, in fact, I know for a fact she's very happy about that because she actually got to go to the draft.
Oh, that's right.
So.
But do you agree?
Yeah, which will bring us to the important. Let's break down the Giants.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything from CBS Sports. I forget who it was that graded it. Someone graded the Giants draft a B+. I'm going to go one step below it. I'm going to go say B.
Yeah, I am going to have to go with you because when the initial shock kind of subsided, because I was fully expecting them to just go full bore and take to take an offensive line, because that draft was absolutely stacked with offensive line help and defensive players that could definitely shore up some holes in the Giants.
Right.
But they completely took a left turn and took.
Or they could have gone Njoku.
Yeah, because he was still on the board at that point.
He was still on the board. Howard had just left. They just missed out on O.J. Howard.
Yes, Reuben Foster out of Alabama was still there.
I believe. I think he was one of the next ones to get taken, or he was late.
Yeah, he was, but they were looking at him, but so that's what I was expecting going into this. And I had typed when I was tweeting the draft. I said this to you the other day, but I was tweeting it out. I was going. And the Giants pick goes to, I think that's what I tweeted out, but then I left the space blank, and I was just about to type somebody's name in, and then I hear the words Evan Ingram. And then my brain kind of shut down for 5 seconds. I was like, what? But even though it wasn't what I was expecting, I
still like the guy.
Yeah, I can't blame him because he's not what I wanted. I mean, he definitely gives them, giving Eli Manning more weapons to throw to, and thus taking off taking pressure off of Odell Beckham Jr. is always a welcome thing. And we haven't seen a lot of production out of the tight end position since Martellus Bennett left.
Right, but let's move on to the rest of the draft because there's some more to talk about. Then they selected Dalvin Tomlinson, a defensive player, and I'm like, here's the tweet that I put out. No offense to Dalvin Tomlinson, he's a great guy in terms of brains and skill, but Giants, come on, offensive line guys soon, please. And then in the third round, Davis Webb.
Why do I have a bad feeling? I just have a bad feeling.
Here was my tweet on that. Giants pick up a backup QB. Well, I know there's one more day, but I guess they're going to free agency for O-line and a running back for depth, which I was proven a little bit wrong with. Agreed, yeah, but we'll get more into that later. Because there is a second part to my tweet. I said, also, if Webb is Eli's successor, Eli is fine now. Prep for the future is fine too, but Eli doesn't need to be replaced now. And that's something I'm so sick and tired of. Everyone's talking about how Eli Manning is done. I say it's time to maybe prep for Eli to soon go, but you guys who are all saying that Eli Manning is fucking done, you're all fucking ridiculous.
It is, because he hasn't really shown up that much of a drop in quality. In fact, it's the team's failure to keep him upright that has contributed more to their down years. Even though last year was a good year and showed a lot of steps in the right direction.
Right. I mean, no. Here's the thing. Eli was not the fault of any of the Giants' downfalls over the last few seasons. Maybe with the exception of 2013. 2013. There was no lie, because I think that was the year Eli started off the season with all those interceptions and fumbles at Cowboys Stadium.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be preparing to shove him out the door just yet.
Right. I mean, it's not Eli's fault last year that the offensive line collapsed and the running backs couldn't get through. It's not Eli's fault where last year they were playing the Packers and the wide receivers couldn't catch. It's not Eli's fault where over the past couple of years before last year where the defense was nothing.
Yeah, it was basically held together with gum and Scotch tape. And
right.
that was, and you don't, I think he's earned the right to decide when he wants to walk away.
I think so too.
You win 2 Super Bowls, you've done for this franchise. You've done immeasurable good things for this franchise, so you have earned the right to tell the critics sit on it. Although they can be critters too.
Yeah,
they seem like animals, so they're critters.
All right, so then we move on to the 4th round, and the Giants, their pick was moved down 12 spots, but then this is where. Maybe I was proven wrong. They got Wayne Gallman, a running back from Clemson.
So are they expecting him, because I don't know that much about him, are they expecting him to kind of take an apprenticeship role from Jennings and, yeah.
I don't know. Last year, he was a redshirt junior. He played 15 games, 1,133 rushing yards, 17 touchdowns, and was named... He was named second team All ACC, which is actually his second year in a row getting second team All ACC. I severely doubt. Well, we know for certain now that Paul Perkins is going to be the starting running back. They announced that earlier this week because Rashad Jennings is gone from the team.
Yeah. So he signed. Who did he sign with?
He's still a free agent, as far as my knowledge goes.
But so they're going to have Paul Perkins, but then they'll have Shane Vereen.
Well, Shane Vereen is going to be the third down guy again,
and your pass catching running backs. So.
Right. So, I guess Wayne will probably be Perkins' backup,
which is a good opportunity to learn. I mean, I don't know because Perkins isn't. He's only in his second year too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's only in his second year. They're going to have a very young running back unit other than Vereen.
So maybe it's not really an apprenticeship as it is.
This is more a rebuilding process, I guess, at the running back position.
Yeah. It's more of a show me what you got kind of thing.
Right, which is both, exciting for the future and at the same time scary.
It is, and this team is basically trying to rebuild on the fly, where they're not just saying, tear it down and let's just start over from scratch like a lot of other NFL teams have done and will continue to do. I mean, and the draft is a key part of that. But, again, we can't – drafts are always a crapshoot. I mean, because there's can't miss talent, and then there's could be, and then there's flip a coin.
Right.
And it's hard to tell. It's gambling, basically.
Then the Giants picked Avery Moss, defensive end from Youngstown State, in the 5th round. 6th round, they picked Pittsburgh guard Adam Bisnoati. And their final round selection, did they have a final round selection?
I don't think they did.
They didn't. I feel like there's another pick missing, though. Tomlinson, Webb, Gallman, Avery Moss, Bisnowatsky. Wow, they didn't. No, something's not right. I must be reading something wrong. Oh no, Bisnoati. He was the offensive lineman guy.
Yeah.
That I was talking about before. I was reading something incorrectly. So Bisnoati, I mean, he's picked number 200. Hello?
Yeah, you can't really expect anything out of him. I mean, practice squad player. I'll be pleasantly surprised if he gives you something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any stats for him. That's the thing. Usually I'd be able to look it up straight away on Wikipedia or something, but I got to go to Pro Football Focus or something because there's not a lot. He surrendered 14 pressures in 14, 12 and 15, and 13 and 16. What he does best, good football IQ, had a high percentage of positive graded run blocks relative to percentage of run blocking grades, good play side zone blocker, great at controlling defenders. His biggest concern, he's a bit stiff and not great at changing directions. Can get overextended in pass protection. Lack of versatility in blocks. Reading this, I hate to say it, I'm concerned.
Yeah. There are a lot more negatives. Well, there are a lot more crippling negatives in this column than there are positives.
I mean, this is what I'll say. That's why I give it a B, because good running back, good defensive pickups. Engram, I think, could be a great successor to Larry Donnell.
Or even to Jeremy Shockey if we want to aim really high.
Right. No, but I'm just talking about he's going to take the reins from Donnell because Donnell is also gone from the Giants spring cleaning.
Yes, indeed they did. But
they need to go to free agency.
Yeah, overall, I'd say the Giants and Jets didn't horribly screw it up.
Right, but I still think the Giants didn't address their main concern, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but if you put a gun to my head of who's to do better in the draft, I'm going to have to go with the Jets. Giants did not do what I said they should have done. They still have holes on the offensive line, holes that they need filling. They better pull what they've pulled with the likes of Snacks and the likes of what they did with the likes of Brandon Marshall and get big free agent signing because otherwise I don't know what the heck they're going to do. They're going to, especially now that the running back unit is very young.
Yeah, and they're going to need a lot of grooming. and they might not have the time and the
resources.
They might not have the time and the patience necessary to have them develop into actually a functioning, cohesive unit.
Yeah, so I don't know what to say, but Giants, hurry it up.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. As much as I like Evan Engram and the other picks, I just, you patched over the holes with, you patched it over with glue and not cement.
Pretty much. You're listening to the Unspoken Podcast, part of the Undetermined Podcast Network. Nick, let's talk Aaron Judge. This kid is a fucking stud.
Oh, yes, indeed. He's Hulk strong. He's a very, very big man, and in recent weeks, he's been hitting the cover off the baseball. He is now, I think, leading the MLB in home runs with 13.
It's something like, it's either 13 or 14. I mean, it depends. I mean, the Yankee game is going on right now as we're talking, so you never know. He could hit another home run.
What's the score right now?
Let me see. Last I checked, I think it was like 1-0 Chicago because Chris Bryant.
Well, of course, Chris Bryant. Oh, I completely forgot. I completely forgot it was an. I thought it was a night game tonight.
No, it's a day game. Yeah, bottom of the first, Chris Bryant hit a home run, and that's the only score of the game so far. Actually, that Chicago's only hit 2. That's the top of the 6th. The Yankees have no runs on 4 hits and an error. Chicago has 1 run on 1 hit, no errors.
Yeah. Well, let's. But still, I mean, he's got time enough to hit out, and I think he is. Currently, they are tied for first, or are they alone in first?
They are. Let's see. As entering Friday, they are a half a game ahead of the Orioles.
So I think it's safe to say that both of us did not expect this.
I'm not sure if anybody expected this. I mean, I knew he was going to start fine. I didn't think it was going to be too big, though. But this, oh my God, this is like how Gary Sanchez was last year.
And he's even outpacing Gary Sanchez at this point.
Well, Sanchez is just going to come back from the 10-day deal
today.
I think he just got announced today. He's coming back,
and that is going to make this lineup all the more dangerous. Although I'm not sure what they'll do against the Cubs because the Cubs are a good team. The Cubs are a great team. They're not defending champions.
Well, I think that they were our prediction. Our prediction they were to go back to the World Series, and I had predicted they were going to win it again.
Yeah, but what has gone, I think, underreported with the rise of Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
Is just how good a lot of the lineup has been at contributing. I mean, Torreyes, every time he got up, even filling in for Didi, he always seemed to get a hit. Holiday's hitting the cover off the ball, which I didn't expect. Put a gun to my head, I would have told you never in a million years would that be happening.
Torreyes, as you said, he seemed to be getting a lot of RBIs. Even when the Yankees got off to a slow start, he always came through when runners were in scoring position, which was hard for the Yankees sometimes for some reason.
And the bullpen's been dependable, although they've had their spotty. I was
going to say almost all the time. I was going to say almost all the time. There have been a couple of instances already this season where I wanted to strangle everybody in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Torreyes. I know Didi is back and Torreyes hasn't been playing, but honestly, I think they need to go to what they've said before, and they need to get Torreyes in more often. Only because.
And Joe said he was going to do that. So.
Right, but they haven't done it. They haven't given Starlin a day off yet or Chase a day off yet. But I also think they should do it because. I mean, I know they have been trying for off-season after off-season, but I think this coming All-Star break, trade deadline thing, it's going to finally happen. I think by that time Chase Headley's bat's going to go, and then he'll be gone.
Really?
He'll be traded by the trade deadline.
Because he's doing pretty well this year.
I mean, he's doing well. I think sooner or later that's going to die down, though. But also, they've been trying for season after season because they've wanted to get rid of Headley and they wanted to get rid of Gardy.
Although Gardy's been doing well as late. He's been heating up.
I know. I mean, that's making it tough, but it's also, I think it's to get rid of the veteran contracts.
I'm a little skid. I would be a little skittish about that because you don't want to, because it's been going well so far, and you don't want to disrupt whatever it is that seems to be working that allows this team to overachieve.
All right, fair enough. So I say if they keep this up by All-Star break trade deadline, maybe they'll stay, unless the Yankees can get a good deal. I mean, if the Yankees were, if some team were to come at them and say, if you give us Headley or Gardy or both, and we'll give you this superstar, I might have to consider it.
Yeah, because they even, I wouldn't. Some newspaper columnists, actually, I was reading a couple of days ago, they were actually predicting that if the Yankees continue with this clip, they might try to swing a trade for a top-line starter. Because they have a deep, like Garrett Cole or...
Which I could honestly see happening. I mean, if I feel like that there's one thing maybe the Yankees need, it's a fifth starter. I mean, Montgomery's doing okay. Tanaka, thankfully, has improved a little since the shaky start of the season. CeCe actually has had a bounce-back year as well. But I feel like...
He struggled his past couple of starts.
Right. But he was off
the hook.
But he was off to a fine start. I think... Yeah. Maybe because they have like Severino and Montgomery taking the mound,
and Pineda's
doing fine. Oh, that's right, Pineda's doing great. As long as he pitches as good Pineda.
Yeah, the guy's bipolar.
Right.
Yeah.
But then like the fifth,
very good or very bad. But
right.
What the engine that has made this team go, I think is Aaron Judge, because he's turned his at-bats into must-see television.
I think
because he's just that strong, where he might not even get good contact on a ball, and he'll still end up muscling it out. And I have never, ever seen that.
Do you think maybe it's because of the way he's built? He's a tall dude. He's a tall, muscular dude.
Yeah, he's basically Hulk strong, and it's hard to. See, I don't want to, be too effervescent about it because effusive, I should say, because I know, we've seen a lot of guys have huge starts and then peter out.
Right.
I mean, do I need to bring up Kevin Moss or Shelley Duncan?
No, but I'm going to say what I told you before off air. I hope this kid is not watching Yes Network. I hope he's not watching MLB Network or Sports Center. Hell, I hope he's not even listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if Judge does that thing, he's going to start to get a big head. And then you know what happens eventually with big heads. The weight becomes too much and the head comes crashing down.
Just like a float at Mardi Gras. But still, I'm saying, but I think, I hope he's got a good head on his shoulders. Everything I've seen and heard from him, he's said the right thing. I mean,
right.
He's taken the Jeter school of saying, deflecting praise. And
that's
humble.
Yes, but that's also, you bring up Jeter, that's something that pissed me off, was when Girardi compared him, saying he was like a lit-up Derek Jeter. Don't do that. Don't do that, Joe.
Please don't do that. Because don't jinx it. It's what my Albanian grandmother used to call the Vicis. You put the Vicis on somebody. you don't want that.
Yeah.
You don't want to jinx it.
So, honestly, stop with the comparisons, people. And, as much as we hype him up, don't hype him up too much. I mean, it's not that, I think he's overrated. I just don't want this thing to end.
Yeah, I want this train to keep rolling until the end of the season.
I want him to be Rookie of the Year. I so want him to be Rookie of the Year already.
Oh, it's a little early to be saying something, but he'll definitely be in the conversation. I mean, well, then again,
if his bat is like how it is, then absolutely he will. Especially if he can also get his glove working. But I mean, Aaron Judge, doesn't he already have like 2 robbed home runs? Like he robbed 2 people home runs so far.
His glove is already working. Plus he
That's true.
He runs the bases pretty well because his legs are long. He's practically an ostrich.
Right. Yeah. So, and one last thing on Judge. I know this one's early too, but. You want him in a home run derby?
I would take him in a home. In fact, I was talking about this with my father the other night as I was heading home from class. We were listening to the Yankee game, and I said I would like to see him in the home run derby. My father was vehemently against it because he is of the opinion that being in the home run derby kind of screws up your swing. But seeing as how he can hit, he can hit anything. He just seems that rare person just seems to make all he has to do is just poke the ball, and all of a sudden it flies 15 feet and destroys. He destroys everything. It's hard to deny that it would be good television viewing. But
it would be absolutely.
On the other hand, I do kind of understand that it does mess up your swing, and I don't want to jinx it. He should definitely go to the All-Star game, but I don't know if he would participate.
Well, I think he's got to get voted in. So it depends. It's up to us fans if he gets in or not.
Do you think he should be in the home run derby though?
I think I'm of the same opinion. Where I think it'd be great television just to see him in the home run derby. I mean, that you brought up how it could mess up his swing, so now maybe I understand a little if he's not. But I think I would be for it. I think whoever's the captain of the American League team, whoever the captain of the American League team is, I think would also be for it. And, of course, ESPN would be begging for it.
Yeah, because he's, like I said, big, strong guy, very telegenic. He knows he can put on a show, and that puts asses in seats and eyeballs on TV sets or on computer screens.
Right. So why not? I'd say, as of right now, sure, why not? Unless there's like a big concern going into it, then maybe we can talk more about it. But as of right now, I think he should be. In fact, part of me, even the fan in me, wants him to be in there. So I'll probably go yes.
Makes sense.
Listen to the Unspoken Podcast, part of the Undetermined Podcast Network. Before we head off, Nick, a couple of things. First of all, let's just take a look right now, heading into Friday. NHL Playoffs. The Rangers have advanced to the second round, and last night they defeated the Ottawa Senators to tie their second round series up at 2 games apiece. Game 5 will be Saturday afternoon.
At Ottawa. I think,
at Ottawa, right? Yes.
So should I say what I really feel?
Go ahead and say what you really feel.
I'll say what I really feel.
Okay.
Please don't fuck this up. Please don't screw it up. Please don't screw it up. You got something going, please. Oh, please.
Well, did you see?
Good enough for yeah.
Did you see?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Did you see last night's game?
Yes, I did.
Okay. You saw how pissed off Ottawa was getting.
Yes.
I think this is just like the Montreal series. I think they're out now for blood. I think all the Rangers need to do is keep their heads down. Well, straight. Because you keep your head down, you're going to get hit in the NHL.
Yeah. Well, keep your foot on the gas.
Keep your eye on the puck, foot on the gas, and stick on the puck as well. And I think if they do that, they will play good hockey. And if they do that and blow off the antics of the Senators, they will upset the Senators as well and advance to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Which is not something that that's not something I'd expect to hear this season, especially with the ups and downs. And
no, nobody did. Everyone thought the Rangers were going to go out first round.
We both did, actually.
Right. I know. I'm saying I feel like most of Rangers Nation felt that way.
But the fact that we've seen, Oscar Lindberg all of a sudden, the Mr. Defenseman all of a sudden scoring goals at a regular clip, playing very well. We've seen
And
Hockey Jesus, Tanner Glass, finally remove his head from his anus and concentrate on the hockey game, not what he ate for dinner last night, because his head is jammed up there. You can see it as well.
But I think we're forgetting something here. Henrik Lundqvist acting like Henrik Lundqvist again.
Exactly. Things, the ship, however temporarily this might be, they seem to have ironed out the kinks.
Right.
I don't know how long this is going to last. I hope it lasts very long. I do. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Because.
Right, but because now they've got it. It's essentially 2 out of 3 against the Senators, just like it was against the Canadiens. And now, if they somehow get past the Senators, as of right now, it looks like, because the Penguins, I believe, are up 3-1 over the Senators. Let me double check. So it looks like if the Rangers get past the Senators, they will have to go up against the defending Stanley Cup champions.
So it ain't getting easier from here, folks.
No.
So you gotta keep your foot on the gas.
And I'm not sure how the Rangers did against Nashville, St. Louis, Anaheim, and Edmonton.
Oh, I think, I can't remember.
Let me bring up the Rangers 2017 schedule. Let me try to do something. No, not the Texas Rangers, you damn Google search.
Fucking Google.
I don't want the freaking Texas Rangers schedule. I want the New York Rangers. Okay, so let's look at the regular season. So, all right, the 4 teams in the West. It's Anaheim and Edmonton, who are actually playing a good series, by the way. Entering Friday, they're tied at 2 apiece as well. Meanwhile, St. Louis and Nashville, they're also playing a very good series. I actually especially enjoy Nashville and St. Louis when it comes to the West teams. And Nashville has a 3-1 series lead entering today, and I believe tonight they play Game 5. If St. Louis loses, Nashville becomes the first team, to advance to the conference finals. And I think that would be big for Nashville. I mean, after sweeping the Blackhawks in the first round.
Which nobody expected. I mean...
No, but I was so happy that it happened.
Yeah. I mean...
anyways, back...
assholes anyway. But still, I mean...
Back to Anaheim. What was your point first?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Anaheim, the Rangers won on February 7th with Lundqvist in goal. They lost on March 26th, right before the end of the regular season. Actually, the Rangers, in their last 7 games, they only went... Well, it was bad. Oh, my God, I have to count this now. The Rangers, in their last 7 games, went 2-5. There was a win against Los Angeles. 2 more losses. A win. 2 more losses. They were like 5-10 in their last 15 games or something. So it's unbelievable how they're actually, doing well.
It's going to be good play. It's going to be good in hockey, and playoff hockey is always good TV, even for a casual hockey fan such as myself. There's something you can get out of playoff hockey that you don't get out of hockey in the regular season.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I see a lot more overtime games. Heck, the first round set a record for overtime games played.
It's gonna be good watching. Good outcome, bad outcome.
So let me go back to the rest. Anaheim, they beat on February 7th. They lost on March 26th. Then, let's see, Edmonton. They faced twice as well on November 3rd and November 13th. So it's been a while since they faced Edmonton, if they get Edmonton. But they won both times back in November. One with Lundqvist in goal, one with Ronta in goal. Nashville, they won in a shootout on December 17th, and then they won 4-3 against. And then St. Louis. They lost 3-2 on October 15th and won 5-0 on November 1st. So, why am I saying that stuff, even though they would still have to get past Ottawa and Pittsburgh?
Yeah, let's not put the cart before the horse here.
I know, but here's my point. I think if the Rangers defeat Ottawa and the Rangers can somehow get past Pittsburgh, then I will make my guarantee that the Rangers will be the Stanley Cup champions no matter who they face. I think if they get past Pittsburgh, they can get past anybody.
Do you really want to make that prediction?
If they get past Ottawa and if they get past Pittsburgh.
Ooh, good qualifier.
I think the Rangers' biggest challenge, I mean, obviously the challenge right now is Ottawa, and I don't want to jinx that. So, I'm like, I don't know if I want to talk about that now. But I think if they can get past Pittsburgh, the cup is theirs to win.
We will see. And I
have to. I know, but if I have to pick one West team that I'd be most concerned about, it's Nashville. The fact that they swept the Blackhawks and they almost have swept St. Louis. I mean, it's 3-1 right now, so they could win as of tonight. And if they do that, I'd be very scared about Nashville. But as I said, I do like Nashville, so I wouldn't be, too upset if Nashville ends up winning the cup. And if they win it against the Rangers, I'll feel. But like I'm saying, if there's one team I'm scared about, it's Nashville. But if Nashville somehow gets upset and the Rangers upset the Penguins, it's the cup for the Rangers to win. If the Rangers fall to the Senators, it's going to be a tough pill to swallow. And if the Rangers beat Pittsburgh, well, I've got a feeling Pittsburgh might repeat.
It's a good point. Oh, it's a good point.
There's a lot that goes into this.
There's a lot of ingredients going into this cake. So let's not. Yes. So let's not put one foot before we put it in front of the other foot.
True. All right. So Nick, before we wrap up this episode, quick 2-minute thing. I want to get a reaction from you.
React away. Well, I'm reacting.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You're the one who's reacting. Okay. So, as you know, I'm a big WWE fan. And WWE has announced a new pay-per-view for July.
What is it?
Hang on, I'm going to get the logo up, and I want to see what your reaction is. As someone who is not really a fan, maybe more of a casual guy, I want to see what your reaction is to the name they have selected for this pay-per-view. Please tell me you can read this logo.
Great balls of fire. Oh my God.
This is serious. WWE Raw presents a Raw exclusive pay-per-view on July 9th entitled Great Balls of Fire, live from Dallas, Texas.
So are they on like a Jerry Lee Lewis kick? Or was that just an opportunity for a dick joke that they just couldn't pass up?
I don't know. Literally, I think everyone is scratching their head at this. Everyone in the wrestling community, fan, critic, journalist, they're like, what the hell?
So what's so special about this, though?
Everyone is just so confused. I mean, they've trying to hype it up. They're having Brock Lesnar make his first defense of the Universal title at this show. They've announced that already. Even though they're not even past the next Raw pay-per-view. So it's just like, what the hell, man?
God, what's the next one gonna be called? Genitals on Fire? You know that's what they mean.
Well, here's the thing. I have two images in my mind that possibly could have resulted in this pay-per-view. The first is Vince McMahon was listening to some oldie station, and
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis is like, you know what? We're gonna have Great Balls of Fire as our pay-per-view name, and all the creative staff is like, what the fuck? No, and he's like, shut up, we're doing it.
Yeah.
The other one is that it was the creative team's idea because they were listening to the song and whatever, and they were like, has Vince gone so senile we can get anything past him?
That I don't know which one sounds more plausible. The fact that they both sound terrifyingly plausible is really, really, really weird.
Although, I can't wait to see an 81-year-old Jerry Lewis come out on stage and perform the song. I want to see that happen.
Oh God! I do want Jerry. Wait, is Jerry Lewis still alive?
Yes, he's still alive. I had to check that too. He is still alive. He's 81, I think.
With Chuck Berry being dead, he is probably the last big rock and roller of that era left. And you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if Vince McMahon goes and does that, because that man, like we've said in the past, it's all about the spectacle. And you know what? It's spectacle, but it's a what the fuck kind of spectacle, as in what the fuck am I watching?
They're going to blow Jerry Lee Lewis up in a fire or something.
Yeah, they're going to... Okay, you can play the song, Jerry, but we'll put the bench on your piano and lined it with spikes. And you know what you have to... Oh, yeah, sure, you can get to your piano if you can survive the suplex.
He's 81 because he... Oh, my God. Okay, I didn't know this. So, Jerry Lee Lewis, he got married 5 years ago at like the age of like 76 or something.
If you know anything about rock and roll, which I do, Jerry Lee Lewis is a bit of a pervert. Yeah, I think he married his cousin or something like that, and that's why rock and roll kind of died out in the late 50s, only for it to come back in the mid-60s as the British invasion.
It all makes sense now. Because there were... Anyone who knows about WWE and, failed storylines would know that Vince McMahon, for almost a decade, has tried to get an incest storyline into WWE.
He really? Oh, my God.
He tried a few times, yes. So now this just makes even more sense.
Oh, my God, this makes sense.
This is getting awful.
We are just a hop, skip, and a jump away from naked wrestling. I'm telling you, people are going to be... Guys are going to be going out there with their bits and pieces hanging out, dangling in the pleasant summer breeze, and it's going to be... I can't even say what it's going to be. It's going to be like the Roman Empire again. It is.
Oh, but by the way, just in case you're wondering, some WWE roster members, particularly those from the opposite brand SmackDown, have reacted to the name, and they are all confused as well. So the wrestlers don't even understand why it's being called this.
It's still funny though.
It is funny. Wow. Goodness gracious, WWE.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
Balls of fire. It's like I hope they should just have, when the announcers plug the show and stuff.
Yeah.
They should just have the soundbite of Jerry Lee Lewis singing "Great Balls of Fire" instead of
or play that scene in Top Gun on a loop.
Oh God! Goodness gracious! Great balls of fire!
Oh God! Don't start.
Don't start. Why? This is the end of the show.
Yeah. Good point.
So that's going to do it for episode number 18 of the Unspoken Podcast. Be sure to like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter at the UDUP. Go like all the rest of the Undetermined Podcast Network's pages and Twitter feeds. And that's pretty much going to do it. Nick, any last words you want to say?
Goodness gracious, great balls.
Great balls of fire. I feel like how we have the circus music for the Knicks, we need a goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
I've lost all my credibility, if I had any to begin with.
I think did we even have it? Does the Unspoken Podcast have any credibility left?
No, but we care.
Like we care, yeah. WWE shouldn't have any credibility left either with that name.
Yeah.
All right. So that is going to do it for episode number 18 of the Unspoken Podcast. I'm Tom Aldana and from Nick Videra. We'll see you next week. You've been listening to the Unspoken Podcast, part of the Undetermined Podcast Network. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.